Welcome back to another episode of Just Jossin. I am half of your host, Sabrina Hannah.
And I'm the other half, Jasmine Heron. This week, we have finally done it. We have expanded the Whedonverse, and we are hitting Angel.
Oh, yeah. And Angel has a very different feel to it than Buffy. Like, I forgot how different this first episode feels than all of Buffy does. Like, it's much darker. I would say even more adult
Mhm.
than Buffy is. Um, and I don't have any fun facts about this.
Well, so this episode, of course, was written by Joss Whedon and David Greenwalt. It's City of
Mhm.
dot dot dot
Yep.
angels.
And it opens up with a monologue
A
from Angel himself.
voiceover.
Yep.
A voiceover.
Yep. Which is part of this different feel that they're setting. Like they're setting a much different tone. This is not Buffy 2.0. This is its own creation.
And so we start off with, this introduction. And then we move to Angel slumped over, apparently drunk at a bar, talking to someone about a girl, his girl, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "You remind me of her." And he looks over and there's like this black guy, this bald black guy with a mustache. And he's like, "You remind me of her with the hair."
Mhm. Yeah, because he had just been going on about this girl's hair.
Yep.
But he is out of the corner of his eye and like at points like actually pointedly looking at this group of guys who's playing pool with well, I think it's like two or three that are playing with these two women.
Yep.
Um and the one guy comes over and he goes, "I want to close out." He settles up his tab, and Angel, still being drunk, says like,
See the face change.
yeah, says like, "Girls are nice," or
Mm.
something like that. And the guy walks away. Um, but as soon as they walk out, like the guys and those girls, Angel's face changes. And then they do this shot where Angel gets up and like his coat's on and he's walking. Like, did you clock that? How like it's such a good shot, but it's also hilarious.
Yes, it's overly exaggerated dramatic.
Yeah. Um, I just couldn't get over that. I was like, because it's so long too. Like, it's not just a quick moment. It's like slow mo walking.
Here comes it. Well, because and again, it's because you're changing away from drunk angel to hero angel.
Angel. Yeah.
And but then he steps out into the alleyway where the vampires are about to, prey on the girls.
Mhm.
And Angel comes over and pretends to be drunk again,
Mhm.
gets up in their face, and then manages to fight off and kill the vampires.
And he
Um,
has some new gadgets. He has these stakes that shoot out of his wrists, out of his jacket, which are super cool. I guess that's what he spent his summer doing.
yep.
Um, Super cool. He slays two vamps at once. It's a great visual. And the girls come over afterwards and they want to thank him because they saved their lives.
Mhm.
And Angel says, "Get away from me."
And it's because one of them has some blood on her head and he is attracted to the blood.
Mhm.
So one of the things that they kind of do, um, I feel more so in Angel than they did in Buffy, was they treat his craving of human blood like a drug addiction.
Yeah.
Where he has, if he is drinking pig's blood, then he is good. And if he drinks human blood, then he's gone bad. And it's not even like, you know, in Buffy, they talked about him knowing when the blood donation from the blood bank or at the hospital was delivered. So it made me think that maybe he had, you know, drunk human blood before just from, the illegal black market blood, Sunnydale blood trade.
Yeah.
But here they're definitely treating it like a drug addiction. And because the last time he drank was Buffy, he is craving, he's jonesing again. And so he doesn't want this girl near him because he's hungry.
Because Buffy is not just a human, she's a Slayer, and they've talked extensively about how Slayer blood is very different than regular human blood. It is like a drug to vampires.
Yeah.
So he, if you notice too, when he leaves that alleyway, his trench coat is very much so used as a cape, like how it's flapping in the wind. And I was just like, oh my God, they are just beating us over the head with this. And I love it. I love it. Even the music for like the intro is so different with that violin that is
Cello. Isn't it a cello?
maybe, I don't know, this stringed instrument that is just beautiful. It's probably a cello. I don't know shit about instruments. It's just this beautiful stringed instrument that I'm sure is not a guitar. Uh, that they play, and it really like just grabs you. Like Buffy's where it like pumps you up. This music fills you, may have a different feel to it.
Mhm.
Um and I have so many questions about Angel's apartment.
Okay. Do you wanna start saying the questions?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, because I have not watched Angel in years, are there other people living in that building? Like, is it an active building or is it um a abandoned building?
Well, I don't know if it's abandoned, but, he's got a ground floor office
Mhm.
and then an apartment
Apartment above
underneath
it.
the office. Under.
Under?
Yep, it's a
Oh, yeah.
base
Yeah.
office. Um, because he can then go into the sewers from his apartment.
Yes.
Now there are lights on in the building when he goes in, so that makes me feel like maybe it, you know, he's rented out this area and is
Okay.
not just squatting.
Because I figured he had to have rented it, which makes me wonder where in the blue hell did he get this money? Because
Yep.
it is a large space. It is an office space. It is the basement apartment. This is LA. He has an elevator in his apartment slash office. I mean, the appliances are from decades ago, so maybe he got a deal, but like it is a large space.
I wonder if there was like a book or something that like came out between Buffy and Angel, like you know, a canon
Mhm.
book that talks about how he saved someone and they said that he could use their office in the meantime or something like that. Like,
Maybe. Like that would make sense. But I was just sitting there and I was like, this is setting unreal expectations about what people can expect to find if they go to LA and they have no money. Cordelia's is a little bit better for the expectations when we see her apartment. But
mhm.
um so while he's there, he's taking off his weapons. And then Doyle shows up, our half human, half demon who gets visions. And when he sneezes and various things, he turns a bluish color, green, and spikes shoot out of his head.
Yep.
He, he is just, I love Doyle so freaking much. He is a gem. I adore him and his Irish accent, which I believe is fake.
No, I
Uh,
think
no,
it's actually real.
Oh, that's right. So he was originally on Roseanne, and he put on an American accent for that. You are correct.
So it's Glenn Quinn,
Mhm.
and he was actually born in Dublin.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he is deceased. He died of a drug overdose.
Mm.
I think like right after season one of Angel, or not that long after. It was. I kind of wonder if he was written off because of the drug issue. I mean, we did have other characters coming on, but
Mhm.
I mean, they could have still worked with him because Doyle was beloved, says someone who loves him and is 100% biased. So Doyle also gives us this, he is the vehicle that they use for someone who has not seen Buffy to give a recap of Angel on Buffy and Angel's
Yep.
life. So that's what he does. Not going to rehash that. There's no need. We all know that. And if not, there are episodes of ours that you can go and listen to. Um, so Angel's not impressed with him. He's like, the hell do I need you for?
Mm-hmm.
And Doyle brings up the the bloodlust that Jasmine was just talking about. That he needs the human connection. Otherwise, eventually, one of these nights, he's going to save someone, and it's gonna be too much for him. He's gonna be like, "What's one to all of the people that I've saved?" And then he's going to have a little taste.
So Doyle explains that he is a representative of the powers that be, who we
Mhm.
will later refer to as the PTB. Um, and that they give him visions, and these visions will help him um, direct Angel towards where he needs to be going in his saving.
And as Doyle says, like, we all have something we have to atone for,
Hmm.
because Angel wants to know why he gets these visions, and that's his response.
So at one point he says, "Let's go get me a Billy D." And I did not know what a Billy D was.
I
Ap-
figured it was alcohol.
Apparently, from 1986 to 1991, it was cool to drink Colt 45. During that time frame, Billy D. Williams, aka Lando Calrissian, was the brand's spokesperson. And he had his own um drink, the Billy D, which was Colt 45 mixed with lemonade.
Disgusting. Disgusting, Doyle. So, um, Doyle has someone that he is supposed to go see, that Angel's supposed to go see. Her name's Tina. Gives Angel the information on a post-it. Well,
Hmm.
kind of like a post-it, and says like 5 p.m. at this cafe. And Angel says like, I'm not good with people, and he's like, tough shit, get going.
Yep.
So Tina is a waitress, who's actually asking for more hours. Angel tries striking up a conversation with her a few times, including about a dog. It doesn't go well. And he eventually convinces her like to hang out with him after her shift ends. Well,
Hmm.
she comes out looking stunning and immediately puts mace in his face.
Yep.
And it's just like, tell Russell to leave me alone. He's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Hmm.
Um, he eventually convinces her that he has no idea what she's talking about, and gives her a ride to this fancy Hollywood party that she's going to, because she, like everyone else in LA, is an aspiring actress. Um,
Expiring or aspiring?
expiring would be dying, which is also
What
true. What I said is true on both ends, but she's aspiring. That's most likely how she would, describe herself. Expiring is how viewers would
we'll see
explain
her.
it. So I've given away an important plot point. Wow, I have not been drinking or anything. I'm so upset by Doyle's drink that my body is just like shutting down now.
So Angel follows her to the party where immediately some guy says, "You're an actor, I'm your manager." This is not a come on, but it's also totally a come on.
Yeah. Also, David Boreanaz was discovered while walking his dog. So I don't know if this was also a callback to that,
Mhm.
or just, you know, how people in LA are portrayed to be.
And
But Angel sees Cordelia. Well, Angel sees Cordelia. She
yep,
gets excited to see
he
him.
hears her first.
Yes.
He hears that very specific laugh and voice
Hmm.
and follows, and there she is talking about how she's an actress and
Hmm.
oh, Cordelia.
Yep.
She asks him if he's still all erg.
And he says there's no cure. And then she's like, I really need to talk to people that are somebody. And Angel says, it's good to see that she's grown as a person.
Yep.
Uh, um, and at this point, he sees like this guy has grabbed Tina by the arm. and she has like gotten her arm away and says her friend doesn't have her money for her and she wants to leave.
Mhm.
So they get in the elevator, and as they're when the doors open into the parking garage, guys grab Tina and they take Angel back into the elevator.
Yep.
Angel obviously emerges, but they already have Tina in the car. So Angel hops into the wrong car and is like, crap, and has to hop into the correct one. And then plays a game of chicken with Stacy, who is the bad guy in this scene. And Stacy, of course, is human and does not want to die. So he is the chicken and hits another car. Um, and he gets some information. Angel gets some information out of Stacy, I believe.
Yep.
Um, as well as getting Tina to safety.
Yes.
Um, so he takes Tina back to his apartment because clearly hers is not safe.
Mhm.
Um, and she thinks he wants to like have sex with her, and he's like, no, no, none of that. No,
Mhm.
you have enough people trying to take advantage of you. Just here's some tea, go to sleep. Sorry, I don't have cream or sugar.
Well, and I also think that this is again more of the adult feel of Angel,
Hmm.
where so this is back when Buffy and Angel were coming out. That when I was in school, my bedtime used to be at 9 o'clock at night, and Angel was on at 9. So it was Buffy at 8, Angel at 9.
Hmm.
And so I had to get permission to stay up to watch Angel and go to bed at 10. Which is again, you know, way back when.
Hmm.
But I, because it was that late at night, it was more adult.
Adulty.
Yep, adulty. And so the fact that, Tina's quite blunt about, this is the part where you comfort me, this is the sex thing. They're not really even skirting around it the way that they did with conversations in Buffy. It's just more upfront, here's what it is. And it's like a more dark view of sex.
I will also say in Buffy, when she hits college, they do a lot more like funny innuendos. Like Willow in that first episode, she does say something about the spurting of knowledge into her and whatnot. And then she's like, oh my God, I said that because it was very clearly like a sex thing.
Yep.
Um, so that's happening more now that they're in college because it's appropriate, it's age appropriate for them now. Um, and Angel, of course, is very old and everything is age appropriate for him. Um, so Tina does say that Russell likes pain. That's what he thrives
Mhm.
off of. So while she sleeps, Angel goes to the library to research things, and he has like four computers going at once, and he's sliding back and forth on all these.
Tina mentioned her friend Denise, who went missing after being involved with Russell.
Yep, and sure enough, he finds a photo of her, finds a picture of a dead woman with the same tattoo. And, he does ask Tina to confirm later that she is in fact dead. Like, did she have this tattoo? Yep. Well, she's dead.
Yep.
He's nicer about it than that. But when he gets back, and they have this conversation, that's when Tina notices the post-it note that Doyle had.
Mm.
Tina, the cafe that she worked, 5 p.m. And she's like, you're just playing a game with me. You're part of Russell's ploy. She goes to leave. It is daylight. Angel gets burned and goes all vampy.
Yep. And I have to say, come on, Angel. If you are stalking a person, like get rid of the post-it note that shows
Right?
that you were stalking the person before inviting them back to your house or
Mm-hmm.
creepy basement apartment.
Yeah. Um, and Tina does the stupidest thing, which is goes right like the night after having this fight with Russell, well, not with Russell, but with one of his goons, goes
Mhm.
running into her apartment to grab her stuff. Thankfully, she has a gun, but she doesn't use it when Russell shows up because he's immediately there in her apartment and he says, like, I own this building, I own this block. Of course, like, I know that you're here.
Yep.
Also, of course, you were coming back to your apartment. send somebody else, you psychopath. So here's another little tidbit. If you're going to be someone who pulls a gun on someone, if you're not willing to pull that trigger, the second they start moving, you're going to get yourself killed. Like,
Mhm.
statistically, that's what's going to happen to you. So if you ever pull a gun on someone, pull the damn trigger the second they move towards you. I'm not saying kill them, I'm saying wound them mortally. No. Saying wound them so they can't come after you and you can get away. So he grabs her, he vamps out and drains her.
Mhm.
So, shocker.
And Angel shows up to find the body. He feels like he's failed her because he has.
Mhm.
I think he calls the police.
Yeah.
And then we meet Lindsay from Wolfram and Hart,
Yeah.
who is discussing his alibi. And because, Russell hasn't seen Tina, blah, blah, blah. You haven't seen her in several times. Here's your alibi. And also, did you catch this? We have a witness who saw a dark
Yep.
complexioned man with
With
blood
blood
on
on
his.
his hands. And I was like, of course you do, you white assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and so there's that. I don't know if they would still say that today. They might, because they're bad people setting up innocent people. Like,
Yep.
there are so many things that if you watch from the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, where they completely always pin something on a dark complected man with, whatever, had coke smeared on him, whatever it is. I've seen that so frequently in like older things where cops are called.
And it's because that's what happens. It's an easy target. It's an easy target.
I'm
Um,
gonna play on your biases already. Like,
mhm.
it's what they've been doing for decades, centuries. Um, we also see that Lindsay is from Wolfram and Hart. It's on his briefcase. It's everywhere. Um, and then so Russell is watching a video from the soiree party that Cordelia was in attendance at. Sees Cordelia and just wants to eat her.
Yep.
Like, he says, I just want to eat her, basically arrange it. So the woman who threw the party, who is swallowing pills with her booze in the middle of the day,
Mhm.
calls Cordelia and is like, this is a big deal. You have to meet him. Da, 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 da. Go over there.
He's sending a limo. He's
Yeah.
sending a limo for you.
So Angel is suiting up to go to war, as Doyle says. And Angel says, um, he's seen 14 wars. They never, and then he says, like, they never declared Vietnam. So it would have been 15.
Mhm.
And Doyle himself has been drafted into driving Angel's car, even though Doyle wants to just go
Watch
and
the Vikings game.
yep, because he's been betting on it. So Cordelia shows up at Russell's and immediately just begins spilling her soul to him.
Mhm.
Like, just like pouring out all of her troubles, and which is a little bizarre for Cordelia,
Mhm.
just a tad. Um, Angel and Doyle show up, knock out security. Angel hops the fence. Doyle's told, like, if I'm not out in 10 minutes, I'm not coming out.
Mhm.
Angel fights his way in and cuts the power. But before that, Cordelia realizes that Russell is a vampire, and being Cordelia, just says it.
Yep. So she's looking. She's like, "Oh, you don't have any mirrors and really heavy curtains, and you're a vampire."
And Russell has such a great nope. No, I'm not.
Yep. And I think because no one's ever just called him out on it so point blank and not being like, "Oh God, you're a vampire." She's just like, "You're a vampire." Like she's just very straightforward about it. And
Mhm.
when he tries to deny it, she goes, "I'm from Sunnydale. We have our own hellmouth.
Mhm.
But then, of course, Cordelia stumbles into the realization of, oh, wait, I am alone by myself with a vampire. And it's not a nice and cuddly vampire like Angel.
Yep.
It's a bad one.
So she
So
starts
then
running through his house trying to get away, which I'm sure Russell is like, "Goody."
and so he says, I'm glad we can like skip the pleasantries. Let's just get down to the eating.
Mhm.
So when Angel cuts the power and then comes out of the darkness saying that he has a message from Tina, and Cordelia, relief, she goes, oh, Angel. And then excitement when she's like, you don't know who he is. Like,
Oh
you're gonna,
boy.
yeah, you're gonna die and it's gonna be great. Like, she gets pleasure
Yeah, because
from.
she literally says, "Oh boy, you're
uh,
about to get your ass kicked." And like the look on her face, it's just fantastic. And I mean, he would have had his security not come out and started shooting Angel. So
Yep.
Angel like grabs Cordelia and jumps off the balcony, scaring the piss out of Cordelia because
Yeah.
Cordelia is human.
Mhm.
So make a run for it, get to the car. Doyle almost leaves when he hears the gunshots, but he turns back around and tries to ram down the door. The security guard's been knocked out. Fucking open
I
hit a button, hit a button. But he doesn't. It's okay. Come out. The car's still running. Um, and they leave. And Doyle, even in this first episode, gets an eye full of Cordelia and the gorgeousness that is she.
Oh my god,
Um,
he calls her a stiffener.
yeah,
I
Doyle
mean, the fact
doesn't
that he says it in an Irish accent makes it a little better, but
makes it significantly better, but it's still not great. Um, so Cordelia is like, he's not like helping Angel get like cleaned up like from the bullet wounds. He's like, he's not gonna come looking for me, right? That's the end of it. And Angel knows then he has to get rid of him because he's gonna come looking for Cordelia.
Mhm.
So there's a big board meeting, it looks like at Wolfram and Hart, with
No, I think it's actually Russell's building. Like, it's his. It's not at Wolfram at Heart, but his lawyer is there.
okay. So he comes rushing on in, Angel, well, very coolly, and Russell's just like, I pay my taxes. I'm, I can do whatever I want. I own this town. And Angel just goes, can you fly? And pushes his vampiric ass out of a window in broad daylight. So he burns up before the chair and what would be a skeleton hit the ground.
Hmm.
Um,
So before this happened, Lindsay stops Angel and
mhm.
says to Angel, "My client has never been convicted of anything, never will. This will not see the light of day." Blah blah blah. Hands Angel his business card. As Angel is walking out of the room, he tucks that business card right back into Lindsay's pocket, gives him a little pat, and walks past him.
And Lindsay picks up his cellular device and
Mhm.
calls the office and says, like, we need a 4 p.m. meeting. There's a new player in town. We do not need to involve the senior partners.
The ominous senior partners.
So then back at Angels, um, I think this is where the stiffy comment comes out of Doyle. And then
First,
we, huh?
first, Angel makes a phone call.
Yes.
He makes a phone call, and we hear Buffy's voice on the other end saying hello, and he doesn't respond and hangs up. And now, this is a link to Buffy because we had just watched Buffy, the first episode where Buffy receives a phone call in her house and she hears no one on the other end. And so now we see the person who was calling was Angel.
Yep. So Buffy takes and or not Buffy. So Angel then hears Cordelia starts screaming. So Doyle and Angel go running up And she's like, "There's a cockroach, cockroach, ah!" And
Calls it a bantamweight,
yeah,
which apparently is for
boxing.
kickboxing or like boxing, and it's 112 to 121 pounds.
Yeah,
So,
it's not a heavyweight. But yeah, it's a big ass bug.
yep.
So she then starts talking about how, eventually they're going to have wealthier clients and, they should charge a fee if that's the case, and she should be the office manager. Da, da, da. And then she's like, if you want me, if you could use me. And Angel's like, yes, Cordelia. Yes, we could. She's like, good. You're going to give me a salary
Yep. Um,
until I become a famous actress.
and then Doyle says that he thinks that it's good that Cordelia is there. She will have a humanizing effect on Angel. And that's when he calls her the stiffener.
Yeah.
Um, but he points out that there are a lot of people in LA who need help and asks Angel if he's game. And then we get the very dramatic Angel standing at the top of the skyscraper looking
Mhm.
out over LA and says, as a voiceover, I'm game. And
Yes. It's a good,
superhero Angel.
yeah, and it's a good start to, it's much better than Buffy's first episode. It's a good start to this season. It's a good start to the show. Um, there's a lot of smart writing in this, like
Mhm.
using Doyle as the vehicle to explain the past 3 years of another show in a minute, basically. Um, yeah, I forgot how much I enjoyed Angel's theme song. Um,
Mhm.
it's just all so good, so good. I can't wait. So one of my favorite characters in this is Cordelia's roommate that she gets later.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that episode.
That will be coming soon.
It will.
Um, the Angel theme song, The Sanctuary, Darling Violetta, um, a dark wave band.
Yeah, they're the ones who were in Buffy. Remember I had mentioned that forever ago now?
Yep. Faith, Hope, and Trick.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, featured player, Jerry Sutyak on the cello.
There we go. I said it was a string instrument. That wasn't a guitar.
Yes, yes.
Also not a violin,
All
apparently.
right. So this is it. This is us expanding into the Whedonverse. Next week we are discussing Buffy, um, season 4, episode 2, which is Living Conditions,
Yep.
which is the roommate episode. So,
Yes. So we will see you all back in the Hellmouth next week.
yeah.
Thank you for just jossing with us.
Thank you.